एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः। ॐ सहना भवतु।
ॐ सहना भवतु।
सहनौ भुनक्तु।
सहनौ भुनक्तु।
सह वीर्यं करवावहै।
सह वीर्यं करवावहै।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु।
मा विद्विषावहै।
मा विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
इह चेदशकद्बोद्धुम्।
इह चेदशकद्बोद्धुम्।
प्राक्शरीरस्य विस्रसः।
प्राक्शरीरस्य विस्रसः।
ततः सर्गेषु लोकेषु।
ततः सर्गेषु लोकेषु।
शरीरत्वाय कल्पते।
शरीरत्वाय कल्पते।
See here, chet. Iha means in this world. That means before the body falls. When we are in this body, chet means yadi, means if. Ashakat bodhum, if it is realized, prak sharirasya visrasaha. Prak means before, sharirasya visrasaha. Visrasaha means the falling of the body, slipping of the body. Before the body falls, if it is realized, is a direct meaning. Here ashakat, it is lung, bidhiling lung. Lung comes when there is a conditional statement. So, I said yesterday also perhaps that the sentence remains incomplete, that if before the body falls this is realized, then a person becomes liberated, he becomes Jivan Mukta. That part is not there in the shloka. Not only that, there is tataha, means then, therefore. Sargeshu lokeshu sharirattvaya kalpate. Sarga means not Swarga again. Swarga, heaven, is one of the Sargas. Sarga means Srishti. Srishti means whatever, wherever there is causality, karma, that means cause and effect chain is there. So Sarga means, in Bhagavad Gita you will find the definition Visarga karma samjitaha, that the creation following the karma phala. So why these lokas are called Sarga? Because they are conceived of according to our actions, our karma phala, we will attain each loka. Some will attain Swarga. Swarga also there are so many variations. Naraka, there are 600 narakas are described in some, it could be more also, thousands also. So according to the different karmas of people, whatever they have done, karma means whatever they have done, their consequence, they will attain different loka. So of that Swargas are some. So it is not Swa, it is Sa. Sargeshu lokeshu sharirattvaya kalpate. Sharirattvaya, I have explained that Sharira means seat of experience. Sharirattvaya means to have more experience, to have again a seat of experience. That means we are not fulfilled with the experiences we have gained in life. इस जीवन में जो कुछ भी मिला है शरीर धारण करते हुए, उससे अगर हमें संतुष्टि नहीं मिली है तो हम सोचते हैं कि हम स्वर्ग में जाएंगे, वहाँ जाएंगे, यहाँ जाएंगे, फिर से करेंगे, फिर से इधर वापस आएंगे. You get it? But if you are fulfilled, a fulfilled person is, he will have na kartritvam na karmani, nothing. He will not have anything. He will do whatever to be done and all. He will not have that I have to do this, I have to do that, etc. So that is why for him there is no further going to this loka or that loka. Whenever their body falls, our Shastras say, the dry leaf, whether it falls on the drain or falls on the road, it hardly matters. Like that, a jnani, where his body falls, in what manner, by disease or by heart attack or by accident, he doesn't bother about it. His body falls. He is not having abhimana in the body. And he doesn't want more lifespan. He doesn't want to die also. If death comes, he embraces death. If life comes with all its bounties and various other struggles, calamities also, he embraces them also. This is the sahaja behavior of a jnani. Now here, if ihached ashakad bodhum prak sharirasya visrasaha, so if it is known, then for him there is no question of going to another world, sarga, sargeshu lokeshu sharirattvaya. It cannot be applied to a knower. So there is a contradiction. So one way of interpreting is that this tataha is to be replaced by anyatha. That means if he knows before the body falls, then he becomes liberated. There is no question of going to any world at all. But otherwise, that means if he does not become realized, then his mind will still have desire, and according to the desire he will conceive of the different lokas. Tataha will be anyatha sargeshu lokeshu sharirattvaya kalpate. So either we have to add the next part of the first sentence, that then he becomes liberated, or we have to take tataha as anyatha. Otherwise this is a contradiction. But the whole shloka would have been perfectly alright if ashakad had not been, that if there we had a word like shakad in lung or so, where we add the a, then it becomes a negative of that. That means if he is not able to realize the truth before the body falls, then tataha sargeshu lokeshu sharirattvaya kalpate. You are understanding? If he is not able to understand, then it becomes absolutely meaningful. But in the grammar, I looked quite a lot. I have put my mind on it, gone through. I could not explain it grammatically. So naturally, if the grammatically, any interpretation can be accepted when it matches with our experience, our sadhana. The final interpretation is for helping us in sadhana. All the Shastras are written to help us in sadhana, not to analyze anybody else or anything like that. All the Shastras are written only to guide us in the sadhana. So we always, generally our way is to always look for sadhana oriented interpretation. The interpretations which are only theoretically important, we don't generally go for that. We try to interpret it in terms of sadhana, which becomes experiential, which anybody will feel natural to him or her. Now, but the interpretation has to be supported by the grammar. If the grammar doesn't help, if the grammar doesn't allow, then we don't speak about it. We are limited by that. Now here finally I got that Durgacharan Vedanta Tirtha, who is a very great Pandit who has written translated and interpreted Upanishads also. In his Vyakhyana, at the end he has said, Athava, that is otherwise, that ashakat means is not able to realize. So the meaning I wanted, it is there. Then the whole shloka becomes acceptable. The two lines, they are no more contradictory. But whether it is really allowed or not, I cannot say. But since a big Sanskrit Pandit, famous Sanskrit Pandit has accepted, so I accept that grammatically it is allowed. Otherwise it is not there. Shankaracharya also has supplied the half sentences. That is, he has supplied the word that if he understands, then he becomes Jivan Mukta, and he is liberated. And tataha, he has said that it should be anyatha and like that. So the first interpretation is Shankaracharya's also. Now, that way the Kathopanishad is similar shloka as I have already done yesterday. Iha cheda vedi datha satyam asti na chediha vedin mahati vinashti. That's clear. If it is known before the body falls in this body, in this world, then great, then the life becomes truthful. Atha satyam asti na chediha vedin mahati vinashti. If it is not known before the body falls, then huge, great is the loss. Mahati vinashti. Now the purpose is to inspire us and to somehow goad us to do our sadhana. This is the meaning. See, we are not studying just to know the Shastras, what is written there or all. We have to understand how is it to be related to the sadhana. Why are they saying this? Because we have the tendency of deferring the sadhana. All of us should know, looking at ourselves, that we always defer sadhana. And those who are given to a reading a little of Vedas and here and there, they will put their argument in defense of their lethargy or in defense of their procrastination. You say that no, it has to be gone step by step. Now I have been born as a human being, this will happen, that will happen. Finally, with lot of effort, we will reach Brahmaloka, and from Brahmaloka only the mukti can be attained. But the Brahmaloka itself, the way it has been described, this jaga, that jaga, Ashwamedha jaga, it is the most difficult to reach Brahmaloka. It is prak, just before liberation, okay, but it is most difficult. But we take all those defenses that इस जन्म में तो नहीं होगा, अगले जन्म में देखेंगे. अरे क्यों नहीं होगा? Even if we are living for 1 hour more, we can right now leave all the desires which have not been able to satisfy throughout my life. What is the harm? Why are we again keeping them as pets in our day? Another in a novel Rabindranath has written that the devotee is praying to Lord that, "Oh Lord, when will you come? When will you come? I have been waiting for you for so many years. When you will enter my heart." But when you enter, there are a lot of curios in my drawing room. See that you should not kick against anything and nothing should fall by your entry. Actually, curios are not in the drawing room. It is in the head. We don't want to leave any of our preconceived pet ideas. कितना भी हम बताए बोलेंगे नहीं पुनर्जन्म इसमें लिखा है, उसमें लिखा है, इसके बाद वो होगा, अगले जन्म में हम देख लेंगे. I always have been telling about in our IIT Kharagpur when we were everybody used to go to the market in the early morning before the function starts. We used to go for a Upanishadic class in the early morning. One day I had gone to the market and one good person was there. He's senior to me. He asked me every day, "I don't see you, where do you go?" I said that we go for an Upanishadic class. "Oh, Upanishad." After some time I asked him that, "Why don't you also come? Why don't you also come? It's very good. He teaches also very good. Why don't you come?" He kept quiet, then looked at me, then said that. In Bengali, "You don't know what Thakur has said." Thakur means Ramakrishna Dev. Bengalis will always quote Thakur for their defense. Thakur has said in what context, how? That is not present. Thakur has said this. Thakur has said that if God doesn't will, even a leaf of the tree will not move. Yes, Thakur has said that, it is true. So if God doesn't will, how can he go for Upanishadic class? So I said, "Oh, for your marketing, buying the vegetables, cooking, eating, overeating, spoiling your stomach, for anything God doesn't have to will. Only for your coming to the Upanishadic class, God has to will." This is what Thakur has said, na? You see how we escape. Just we will somehow put some argument from Thakur or here or there. There are so many saints, we will use their word that wo to kabhi nahi hoga. They will say that, "Oh, don't you know that Maharaj, he said that as long as the vessel is muddy, it is not clean. If you put the milk there, the milk will get split. So after I become pure, I will go for Diksha. I will go to a Guru for Diksha." Arey, after you have become, why should you go to for Diksha? You don't need it. You have to go with the impure vessel, and it is for the Guru to purify the vessel. If it's just water or with mild soap, it doesn't go. Guru has to apply hard treatment to clear it up. That is for the Guru to do. You have to just open up before the Guru, saying that all these troubles, like Girish Ghosh, all these things we have, it is for you to clean me up. If you think of cleaning the vessel and then going for it, then after cleaning, when you have become pure, actually you don't need a Guru. Purity is the sadhana. After you become pure, the mind becomes the soul. There is nothing more to be done. So actually it is not that I am waiting for the purity and I really believe that only after I become pure I will go to the Guru. It is only an excuse for not going now. समझे? बोलते हैं कि हम में गंदगी है, वो गंदगी देख के आप नहीं बोल रहे हैं, वो बोल रहे हैं एक एक्सक्यूज कि अभी हम जाने नहीं चाहते हैं, अभी जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. कौन बोला है आप तैयार नहीं? आप जाके पूछे हैं कि गुरुजी आप बोलिए या स्वामी जी आप बोलिए हम तैयार है कि नहीं? How will you know that you are ready or not? It is for the Guru to say. If he feels, he will accept you. If he feels, he will not accept you. It is for him to decide. If you feel the guidance is necessary, you feel that I have to walk, you have to go to a person to ask for the direction. You have come to a new place. You will have to ask anybody who knows the place. Rickshaw wala, thela wala, you have to ask how to go. So here actually they are trying to inspire us to do the sadhana, not to have any negligence in working for this liberation. That is the idea. And it will continue further. Next shloka also. Yatha darshe tathatmani.
यथा दर्शे तथात्मनि
यथा स्वप्ने तथा पितृलोके.
यथा स्वप्ने तथा पितृलोके
यथाप्सु परिवददृशे.
यथाप्सु परिवददृशे
तथा गंधर्वलोके.
तथा गंधर्वलोके
छायातपयोरिव ब्रह्मलोके.
छायातपयोरिव ब्रह्मलोके.
See, again here he is saying that yatha adarshe tatha atmani. Yatha adarsha means mirror. Atmani, here in the Atma means in the buddhi, the where the Chidabhasa I explained yesterday, where the reflection of the consciousness takes place. That is in our buddhi, we generally say buddhi guha, that in the cavern of the intelligence, understanding. As it is seen, suppose you are seeing your face in a mirror, if the mirror is clean, plain and defect free, then you can see your face exactly as it is. Is it not so? So he is saying that when your buddhi is there, that is when this body is there, the body which carries buddhi, and this is the speciality of human birth. Yesterday also I was repeating that why have we got human birth? You have to analyze it, understand it. What is the speciality of the human body? There are millions of pranis, millions of beings in this on this earth. What is the speciality of human body? It is the speciality of human body. This is the intelligence with which he can inquire into ourselves and know who am I. That is only available to the human birth. So that is the purpose of human birth. So to see the Atma as it is in the buddhi is the purpose of human birth. And he is saying that when your buddhi is there, you can see the Atma as it is, provided you purify your buddhi, make it a very clean mirror, plain mirror. You get it? If the mirror is muddy, you will correspondingly see it less, not very clear or so. Something you will see if you try to see. But depending on the defects of the mirror or the clarity of the mirror, you can purify. Then You will see the Atma correctly. So, by that saying that he is saying that the Atma can be known in its best manner and easiest manner when we are a human being. That is accepting all the uh, Vedic models and other things, that there are various kinds of birds, various kinds of lokas, worlds and all. Know that all these are there, but the best opportunity for you to know yourself is now here in this buddhi. And if you work hard to purify your buddhi and mind so that the reflection is a proper reflection. If the surface is very turbulent, you will not see even the reflection of the sun and moon. If it is very turbulent, the moment it becomes a little quiet, when less waves are there, you will see the reflection of the moon. But what you will see with the moon will still move and become half and three-fourths, and it is not the exact, it is the distorted. If the surface become absolutely calm, then the moon reflection you will see. So it is for us to make the surface absolutely calm. Remove all the disturbances created by desire, anxiety, agitation, fear, etc. so that we get a best picture of our Atma, who am I. Now, with that, he is comparing what happens in the other lokas prescribed by the Vedas, mentioned by the Vedas. Now, we can verify and experientially confirm only this first one. The others are not within our experiential ken. What happens in Gandharva Loka, what happens in Pitri Loka, what happens in Brahma Loka, these are all, we have to take them as imaginative. There is no way you can prove, no way you can disprove also. They are not verifiable. So, Shankaracharya, as the other day also I said that Svargadau Anubhava Anarudha Vishaye Shanka Syat Asti Va Nava iti. That all that is non-experiential, Anubhava Anarudha, about that Anubhava Anarudhe, Shanka Syat Astiva Navaiti. Swargadau means Swarga, Naraka, etc. Punarjanma, all these things. Anubhava Anarudhe, which are Anubhava Anarudha, which are non-experiential, there will always be doubt. Astiva Navaiti. Whether they are there or not there. Because you cannot prove, you cannot disprove also. Because Vedas have stated, we accept it. That Vedas have Sukshma Drishti and they have mentioned about it, that's all. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? Anubhava arudham tu jnana phalam. Whatever we pursue in the path of knowledge, every bit of it is experiential. Therefore, a seeker should stick to the experiential. So, in interpreting also, we have to interpret this verse in that manner that there are so many lokas are mentioned. So we will question, स्वामी जी यहाँ तो बहुत सारे लोक के विषय में बोला गया है, पितृलोक भी है, गंधर्व लोक भी है, आप खाली मनुष्य लोक के विषय में बोलते हैं, ये क्या नहीं है? ये सब हमें सोचने का नहीं है, ये प्रूवेबल नहीं है, डिसप्रूवेबल भी नहीं है, वो रहने दीजिए ना, उसमें क्या है? उसको बताया गया है इसलिए कि अगर वो लोग सब कुछ है भी तो अभी इन दिस वर्ल्ड इज द बेस्ट इंप्रेशन ऑफ द आत्मा यू कैन गेट, बिकॉज यू आर अप्लाइंग योर इंटेलिजेंस एंड थ्रू इंटेलिजेंस, by purifying the intelligence, you can know what it is. समझ गए? This is the way we have to read the Shastras. Otherwise, you will be confused and lost in the Maharanya of the Shastra. Maharanya means the great, deep forest of Shastras. Words. What is that? Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chittabhramanakarakam or Karanam. Shabdajalam, the whole Vedas and Upanishads, they are Shabdajalam, they are made of wordy nets that's full of words. Chittabhramanakaranam, Karakam or Karanam. They will confuse our mind. We will not be able to get our way moving through that deep forest. Vaidushyam vidusham tadvat bhuktaye natu muktaye. Like that, the Panditya in the Shastras, बहुत सारे उपनिषद पढ़े हैं, वेदा पढ़े हैं, वेदांगास पढ़े हैं. That Vaidushyam means erudition. Vidusham tadvat. Vidusham Vaidushyam. That means the Pandita, the scholarly people, their scholarliness also is like that. It is Chitta Brahmana Karanam, but why it is Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye? It is only for bhoga. They will revel in the shastras, ये बोला है, वो बोला है, ये हुआ है, वो हुआ है, यहाँ पे ये आर्गुमेंट चलेगा, ये बोला है, क्यों नहीं बोला है, वो क्यों बोला है, ये तो चलेगा ही. लेकिन all these are for bhoga, not for moksha. Bhuktaye, na tu muktaye. So here this is what is important, that since the picture of the Atma, the knowledge of the Atma can be best had in this life, in this body, provided we take the trouble of purifying the mind and the intelligence, then you should strive for that. Then what are the others, non-experiential and non-verifiable things? He says, Pitriloke yatha swapne tatha pitriloke. Yatha swapne tatha pitriloke. Now in dream what is happening? Dream we are seeing various things where some of the informations are from the wakeful state and some other things, bizarre things are happening. It is all mixed with that. And it is not very certainly verifiable. Like one day you have the dream, next day the opposite dream you may have. Repeatability is not there. In wakeful you have the repeatability. You can again and again go into the same thing. In dream you cannot. So Pitriloka, they have said that when anybody dies, they go to the Pitriloka. Pitriloka means the ancestors' world, our Purva Purusha's world. So there it is like the swapna. It is nothing verifiable or dependable experience about Atma. Then yatha apsu tatha iva paridadrishe gandharvaloke paridadrishe. See, here it is yatha apsu. Up means pani, water. Apsu means in the water. That is, in the water, whatever reflection you see. What is the speciality of the reflection? वो कभी एक हाथ अलग हो जाता है, पैर अलग हो जाता है, ऐसा 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 करके. जो गोपी गाइन बगाबाइन देखे हैं उनको पता चलेगा. Satyajit Roy has done that dance of the ghost. कभी हाथ अलग हो जा रहा है, पैर अलग हो जा रहा है, वो है गंधर्व लोका का. That means he is saying this iva paridadrishe. Paridadrishe means all around. They see all around. What do they see? Apsu iva gandharva loke. Now gandharva loka is generally supposed to be the world of the musicians. Is it not so? So they also, through music, they can attain the Atma. It is the world of musicians. But it will be like that. Because of the buddhi, the nishchayatmika buddhi not being active there, it will be a vague picture of the reality. That sometimes it is getting elongated, sometimes the limbs will get torn, they will be seen here, there, like that. The point is that it will not give you the exact picture. It will also give you a sort of a vague picture. But beautifully they have compared with this, that the Gandharva Loke, it is like the reflection in water. And Chaya Tapayoriva Brahma Loke. Brahma Loka is believed to be the highest Loka. Beyond, if you can get over that, you become liberated. That is, step by step, if you go from one Loka to other Loka. This is not verifiable again, not within our experiential. But the fact is that when you are believing Brahma Loka, you have to believe the Vedas also. And in the Vedas, they have stated that it is extremely difficult to reach the Brahma Loka. Thousands and millions of times more difficult than what you are saying that वो स्वामी जी ये बहुत difficult है. कुछ भी बताए तो उत्तर क्या आता है कि बहुत कठिन है स्वामी जी. कठिन है हम बोलते हैं क्यों? हम करना नहीं चाहते हैं. Is it not so? क्यों बोलते हैं कठिन है? करना नहीं चाहते हैं इसीलिए बोलते हैं कठिन है. कठिन होने का क्या है इसमें? कर रहा है तो करेंगे. So they are already scaring you that don't think that you will go step by step in an आराम से पहुंच जाएंगे liberation में. Last वो ब्रह्मलोक पहुंचना बहुत बहुत ही मुश्किल है. Much more difficult than practicing sadhana here. So the fact is only to make you practice your sadhana without any lethargy, without any excuse. Do your sadhana properly and you will reach the highest. And what is the Brahmaloka vision? Chaya atapayoho iva. Chaya atapayoho. Chaya means andhakara, means shadow. And Atapa means light. It is like light and shed. So it is very clear than the other ones. It is not like the water reflection of Gandharva Loka. It is not like the dream picture of the Pitriloka. It is clear like Chaya and Atapa, but not fully clear as in the Adarsha. Chaya and Atapa, they are distinctly different. The two are distinctly different. And the Chaya is coming because of the light only. Because the Brahman light is there, Chaya is created of the body. So all these are there, but it is not the final liberation. Because from Brahma Loka, you have to progress to the Mukti, Moksha, the liberation, when you will know the Atma as such. But that can be known right here, in this body, in this world. So why wait for Brahma Loka, which is very difficult to reach? And that also, there also you will not have it, you have to progress further from there. So both these slokas are to inspire us, to goad us to do our sadhana and not to defer it, not to procrastinate it. देखिए ना, हम बोलते हैं ना वो नारद जी की कहानी. He was moving around all the worlds. Everywhere he was moving around. For yugas after yugas. He knew everybody. Forget about small saints or Mahatmas also. He had direct access to Brahma himself, the creator himself. These stories are all very important. Only with his ding 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 music, he was going everywhere, speaking to everybody confidently, creating problem for others also where problem creation was necessary. Even for Krishna also. Many things he created. दुर्वासा को लेके, दुर्वासा को भेज के, नारद का ये सब बहुत ये है. See, he had access to everybody, Narada. But finally what happens? He happens to meet Sanat Kumara, a human being, a rishi, small child, small boy. And he asks that you give me some knowledge. And what does he say? That mantra videvaham asmi, natu atmavid, tarati shokam atmavid. I have only known I know all the shastras, everything in the world I know. But I know only the mantras. I don't know who am I. And I have heard that an Atmavid overcomes, transcends grief. I have not transcended grief. I still have grief. So I have not known myself. Chandogya Upanishad mein bale. Indriyanam prithak bhavam.
Indriyanam prithak bhavam.
Udayastamayau chayat.
Udayastamayau chayat.
Prithagutpadyamananam.
Prithagutpadyamananam.
Matva dhiro na shochati.
Matva dhiro na shochati.
Indriyanam prithak bhavam.
Indriyanam prithak bhavam.
Udayastamayau chayat.
Udayastamayau chayat.
Prithagutpadyamananam.
Prithagutpadyamananam.
Matva dhiro na shochati.
Matva dhiro na shochati.
This last portion we have come across earlier also. Matva dhiraha na shochati. The dhiras, the wise people. Matva, that means realizing. Realizing this, knowing this, the dhiraha, they transcend shoka, depression, grief, they transcend. Suffering they will have, but in suffering they will not be grieving, they will not be depressed by suffering. They will embrace suffering as well as comfort, happiness with equal embrace. So, he says, prithak utpadyamananam indriyanam prithak bhavam cha udayastamayau chayat dhiraha etad matva na shochati. That indriyanam prithak bhavam, that all the indriyas, they have prithak bhava. That means separate, different signals, different bhavas, different qualifying parameters. With the eyes we can only see, with the ears we can only hear. The eyes cannot hear, the ears cannot see. Normally it is like that. They are all different. Like that, the touch, the taste, every Indriya has got its own role to play. This is the meaning of prithak bhavam. Now the whole world, if we think properly, analyze the world, it is actually an expression of this mixture of 5 kinds of signals. These 5 indriyas. Our world, the world as we perceive, it is made of these 5 perceptions. And along with that, the mind and buddhi thinking inside. But it is all a combination of 5 perceptions, and we are having such infinite variety, so much of jugglery is going on. Is it not so? But it's only made of 5 perceptions. But what he is pointing out, he is again taking us step by step. What is that? Indriya is always we know the sense organs. We are always associated with the sense organs. But what happens is that we identify ourselves with the sense organs. Whatever our eyes are seeing, I feel I am seeing, the ears hearing, I am hearing. So there is always an identification of the I, the substratum, with whatever the parameters it is expressing or manifesting. So this has to be disidentified. To know the Atma, what is the process? It is always, suppose in water is heated, the heat is mixed with the water. So you see only the water. Now to know the energy, you have to disassociate the two. You have to know that the heat is going into the water and it is causing the water to boil. Here, Atma is the revealer, Atma, which is revealing everything. Without the Atma, nothing will be seen. Unless that vision is revealed by the consciousness, we will not have vision. Unless the sound is revealed by the consciousness, we will not hear sound. So in every perception, pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. In every perception, this revealer is present. Without the revealer, there cannot be any revealed. But because our focus is on the revealed, छोटे मन वाले हैं ना हम लोग सब, इसीलिए हम हमेशा छोटा छोटा देखना चाहते हैं. Our focus is always on small things, so that we can enjoy that. Our bhoga pravritti, our always tendency to enjoy the world, whatever it is revealing, immediately our focus is on that. So we miss the revealer which is always present everywhere. Do you get it? I have explained many times. So this prithak bhavam, this different things we are seeing, because our interest is in small things. But in that process, we are missing the Atma, which is the revealer of everything. Now, how to disassociate this Atma and know it as different from the Indriyas? That will be the first step. Yesterday I told you the Upanishad as it is bringing from the first step to second step to third step. Now again it is going back in another manner. It is taking us first step, second step, third step, like that. That is the way all the Upanishads are more or less like that. Yesterday I said first Puram Ekadashadvaram. First it was the body and the Atma is living in that body, but it is not the body. When I stay in this satsang hall, I don't become the satsang hall. I am different from the satsang hall. Like that, the Atma who is hosted by the body is different from the body. That was the first analysis. Second analysis, the first analysis will make us think that the Atma, although is different from the body, it is inside the body. It is not anywhere. So the second step was to see the Atma everywhere. That the Atma everywhere, it is ekas tatha sarva bhutantaratma. Again and again and again they were repeating. That it is the one Atma which is manifest through various things. But still in this second step also, Atma we know and the world we know. The world is different from the Atma. The world is appearing on the Atma. It is a manifestation of the Atma. The third step is that the world is nothing but the Atma, nothing but consciousness, nothing but Brahman. So the difference between the Atma and the world we are creating, that difference is not there. Na pratyak brahmanor vedam kadapi brahma sargayoho. There is no difference between the Pratyagatmani and the Brahman. And Kadapi Brahma Sarga Yoho. In the Brahman and the Sarga, the Srishti which we are seeing. The Srishti is only an appearance in the Atma. So here also, first it is the Indriyas. From the Indriyas, different signals, we are getting back to the mind level. What is that? In the mind, when we are seeing vision, when we are hearing sound, everything, is it not finally happening in the mind? So it is the same mind which is appearing as the world. So this fivefold world of the five sense organs, made of the five sense organs, is all appearing in the mind only. It is made of the mind, call it mind or consciousness, it is made of that. Initially it is a mind. Not only that, these indriyas are sometimes awake, sometimes sleeping. The moment it is sleeping, still we have in the mind a world of the sense perceptions. Is it not so? So udayastamana means the rising and setting. When the eyes are open, we are seeing the external. When the eyes are closed, in the mind it is generating the same thing. So the indriyas were awake and they are sleeping. So they are the temporary, fleeting things. At one time they were awake, next time they are sleeping. But in the mind they are still, all the whole world with a new appearance, it is appearing there. Mind remains. Mind remains in wakeful as well as in dream. When you go another step further, that is Sushupti, when the mind also has set, there is no thought, nothing, no signal is there. So Indriyas are also rising and setting, the mind also is rising and setting. But still that Sushupti of no signal state is revealed by the Atma. The Atma is not sitting. This is the logic they are also proceeding with in different manner. Now, as I said yesterday, that even otherwise scientifically also, if you just go within the body, just beyond the senses, just behind the retina, it is all the nerves carrying the electrical pulses as signal. Below the skin, it is all nerves carrying the electrical pulses. All the sense perceptions we are having, even before they reach the brain, they are all only electrical signals. Where is the vision? Where is the sound gone? Where is the taste gone? They are all electrical signals only. And in the brain, which is the area of the brain they are exciting, along with the, depending on that, the whole, in some portion it is giving rise, inciting some picture, vision. In some it is inciting, manifesting as sound. It all depends on which is the area it is exciting. So already the infinite variegated world of five perceptions have become only electrical even before that, according to science also. And it is all electrical signals. The whole final jugglery of seeing and perceiving the world is in the mind. That science has not yet been able to. Suppose we are seeing something, we are seeing, having a vision of Vishnu. That there will be an excitation of a certain portion of the brain. That science can find out. That, well, you are saying you have a vision of God, but we can say that this portion of your brain is excited during that period. So if I excite in the same manner your brain in that portion, you will have vision of Vishnu. It's perfectly scientific. If we can excite your brain in the same manner, you will have vision of Vishnu. So if you have assigned some reality to Vishnu, then that becomes negated. That Vishnu is something we can create in the brain, create in the mind. But Vedanta doesn't bother about it at all, because our Vishnu, we are saying repeatedly that he is not existing outside, he is in my mind, the whole world is in the mind. So with any excitation you create in the mind, depending on the brain, the whole world will be produced according to that. There is no problem at all. Vedanta is safe about it. But those who are believing that विष्णु भगवान वैकुंठ में थे, वहाँ से चल के आए, हम देखें, उनको प्रॉब्लम होगा कि वैसा कुछ नहीं है, वो दिमाग में विष्णु को क्रिएट्स कर सकते हैं. But Vedanta will have no problem at all. Are you understanding or getting fearful? Bhayat asyagnistapati. When we know the truth, there is no question of any fear at all. That is the truth. See, even in the film, when something, oh, so much, so colorful, you can see, sitting here, you can see the Pacific Ocean and the space also, everything can be seen. But what it is made of? One light is only playing this way, that way, some rigid film perhaps is passing. Now तो वो भी नहीं है शायद, वो भी SD में बन गया क्या? So कुछ तो होगा. So where is the all that we are seeing and we responding, shedding tears, laughing, seeing all that? What is it all made of? Play of light. आप स्क्रीन में जाके किसी को बहुत पसंद हुआ, स्क्रीन में जाके हग कीजिए, क्या होगा? कुछ मिलेगा? ये स्क्रीन ओनली, एंड यू विल ब्रेक द स्क्रीन ऑल्सो, स्क्रीन फट जाएगा, इतना ही है. Not only that, everywhere it is like that. I have told so many times, but I think people need to think about it. हम इतना बोलते हैं संग संग संग, क्या होता है? We think that we don't like dukkha and we are afraid, we always try to avoid dukkha, suffering. Now, any good person who is reading a tragedy, a novel, tragic novel, or seeing a tragic film, will he not shed tears? So, Oliver Twist or Pathar Pachalli, etc. Anything like that. We will shed profuse tears seeing that. But are you not liking that dukkha? पैसा देके जाके दुख ले रहे हैं ना, भाग तो नहीं रहे हैं. Paying money, we are enjoying the dukkha. When I say directly enjoying the dukkha, you will not understand. But this is where we are enjoying the dukkha. Now, what is the difference with that dukkha and when something exactly similar has happened to your family? What is the difference, you tell me? आइडेंटिफिकेशन आई, वो हमारा फैमिली है, उसमें किसी को मरना नहीं है कभी. दूसरों के फैमिली में सब कोई मर सकते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट संगा इज. So if we can eliminate that sangha, the color, that raga means color. The color we have applied on the world of me and mine and everything related to that. That color has to be taken away. Viraga means removing the color. Vairagya is coming from Viraga. Vairagya means seeing the world as it is, seeing ourselves as we are. Not apply the color of me and mine and try to possess the world. So he says that you have to go from the multiple expression of the indriyas to the unified expression of the mind, and then from the mind, in mind also sukha, dukkha, various things are coming up and going down. Of that, how is it that we are liking the dukkha, liking the sukha and disliking the dukkha? Actually, it is not so. Dukkha can be liked much more than sukha actually. The enjoyment of dukkha is much deeper than enjoyment of sukha. In dukkha, our mind goes to a deeper level. In sukha, mind remains lighter. So really when we enjoy dukkha, you will enjoy dukkha, sukha both. You will find the enjoyment of dukkha is far deeper and more comprehensive. So, will the sea be ever afraid of its huge waves? एक छोटा सा वेव है और एक बहुत बड़ा वेव है. सी के लिए उसमें कुछ जाता आता क्या? कुछ भी है क्या? दोनों ही हमारा वेव्स है. इसी तरह, exactly like that, in the mind, one wave is of dukkha and one wave is of sukha. The both are the waves in the mind. And finally, they are waves in the consciousness only, appearing in the consciousness only. So that is how we will disassociate the Atma from the Indriyas, from the Indriya perceptions, the sense perceptions, from the Sukha, Dukkha, from the mind, intelligence, everything, and know that the whole jugglery is taking place on the substratum of the Atma, the consciousness. The Atma never gets tainted by anything, never gets touched by anything, never gets affected by anything at all. That is how we will palanamiva dhanyamiva, what is it? As we separate the husk from the rice. As we separate the husk from the rice and get the kernel, here also it is like that. All the subsidiary elements to be eliminated and you get the Atma like that. So again we have got back to the Puramekadashadvaram, that level. Now from there he will go again to the next step, to the next step, and see that what are you separating? There is nothing to separate. We are now saying that we are separating the husk from the kernel. That is all the perception. There is nothing other than the soul. You cannot miss the soul anywhere. Whether it is Sukha, Dukkha, criminal, saint, everywhere it is an appearance in the soul, appearance in the consciousness. So there is no question of any separation also. It is all oneness and transcendental oneness. This is the way Upanishads take us. So he says that two things are here. One is the prithak bhavam of the sense perceptions. That is, they are all different. The qualities of the different senses are different, the parameters are different, but they are all made of the same thing. Similarly, they are all coming and going. They are always rising and setting. Udayastamano, astamayo. They are rising and setting. But this never sets, this revealer, because if the revealer sets, we will not have we will not know. Even in Sushupti or Murcha means so-called unconsciousness, or we are losing the current awareness, then also this revealer is there. That is why we are knowing the Murcha. That I did not know anything. That is the no signal state also is revealed by this. So throughout there is no astamana for it, the Atma. It is never setting. It cannot be missed, because if it sets, who will reveal that state? You will not know. So the revealer is present always and always in one manner, whereas it is manifesting all the rising and setting, that means birth and death, and also the infinite variety of the objects. So you never lose the anchor in that one Atma, which never sets. Prithag utpadyamananam matva dhiro na shochati. So he no longer grieves. That is what, when we see the film, we don't grieve, but we shed tears in the dukkha. Whereas grieving will be expressed in a different manner. Grieving and depression, they are all related to the sangha and ego. Suppose somebody has died, you are wailing and howling, oh, why it has happened to me. It is ego. It is the sangha. But somebody has died, you profusely shed tears thinking of various things and all, but you don't get agitated. You accept the death with full embrace. As we accept other things in life, we accept death also with the full embrace. Then there is no ego at all. You are just responding to the situation. It is phenomenological. So, matva dhiro na shojati. When he discovers this Atma in everything, he no longer grieves. Now, how you are going step by step, this is in 2 verses again. It is already done in Kathopanishad 1.3.10 and 11. Those who remember, otherwise you can find out. It is there in Bhagavad Gita also in a different manner. In Bhagavad Gita it is 3.42. 3rd chapter, 42. Bhagavad Gita says, Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhihi yo buddhe paratastu saha evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. See, here also he is saying how to overcome the kama, because kama is the main thing. Bhagavad Gita, these verses are simpler than what is there in Upanishad, because some of the abstract concepts have been eliminated from here. He says, Indriyani parani ahu. The Indriyas are extremely powerful. They say, the rishis say that the Indriyas are extremely powerful, because we are always slave to the Indriyas. Following the Indriya, the mind remains slave. Following the mind, the other day also I explained, the intelligence becomes slave to the objects. So that we remain slave to the world because of the Indriya's powerfulness. Indriyebhya param manaha. But know that the mind is superior to the Indriya. mind is behaving as a slave to the Indriya, but actually without the support of the mind, the sense organs cannot work. So if the mind can be restrained, if it can be enlightened, then automatically the Indriyas can be sublimated. They will not behave as it is doing. Not only that, how to discipline the mind? Manasastu parabuddhihi. Superior to mind is the intelligence. So the intelligence has to be illumined. Now what is happening? Whatever the Indriyas want, it is slave to the world. Following that, the mind becomes slave to the world because the mind helps the Indriyas to indulge in the world. Following that, what is the intelligence doing? It is helping the mind that kaise karna hai, how shall I do it, how to satisfy the Indriyas. So the intelligence is also slave to the world through the mind and the Indriyas. So the whole function is taking place as slavery to the world attraction and repulsion, to say, not to the world, our raga dvesha, our attraction and repulsion to the world. This has to be inverted. So this buddhi, which is always working as a slave to the worldly attraction and repulsion, is called Vishaya Buddhi. We have to replace it by Viveka Buddhi. The Viveka Buddhi which is always anchored to the soul. Because Viveka means discrimination between permanent and impermanent, discrimination between Shreyas and Preyas. So what the Viveka is doing is always anchoring us into the soul. What is the soul? It is the permanent. It is the Shreyas. So more and more Viveka we apply, we are getting more and more, we are getting closer to the soul, getting more and more fixed to the soul. So Viveka Buddhi is actually when the Buddhi is anchored in the soul. That is called the Viveka Buddhi. So if we employ the Viveka Buddhi, then the Vishaya Buddhi cannot anymore overwhelm the Buddhi. And this Viveka Buddhi guides the mind. And the mind guides the Indriyas. So our interactions will no more be as a slavery to the Raga Dvesha, but guided by our inmost reality, the soul, Viveka Buddhi. Whereas here in Bhagavad Gita it is very important because he is ending the verse with Yo Buddhehe Paratastu Saha. They are saying there is something even superior to the Buddhi, and that is your goal. Parataha tu Saha. There is something still transcending the Buddhi. Look for that. What is that? Evam Buddhe Param Buddha. You have to know, see, Buddhe Param Buddha. We should not miss these words. बुद्धि के ऊपर जो है उसको कैसे जानेंगे? बुद्धि के द्वारा ही जानना है. बुद्धे है परम, which is superior to the buddhi. Buddha. That has to be known by your buddhi. That is, normally you are with the Vishaya Buddhi. Now you cultivate your Viveka Buddhi. Purify your buddhi and make Viveka Buddhi the real buddhi. That buddhi will know which is superior to it because it is always anchored to that. That buddhi will directly take you, link you to that, will take you to that. लग रहा है, समझ रहे हैं क्या? So, evam buddhe param buddha samstabhyatmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahavaho kamarupam durasadam. This is the way you can win over the slavery to the world, slavery to your desires, slavery to your senses and sense perceptions, by linking up your buddhi to that which is superior to the buddhi, transcendental to the buddhi. The buddhi, when it is Vishaya Buddhi, is replaced by more and more of Viveka Buddhi, by cultivation of Viveka, you will get more and more connected to that Evam Buddhe Param, that which is transcending the Buddhi to the Atma more and more. And more the Viveka Buddhi is connecting to the Atma, we will develop the gunas of all the parameters of the Atma. What are they? Atma never gets tainted by anything, it never get affected by anything. It is impersonal, impartial, everywhere, universal. So we will also become like that. Closer we come to the Atma, we will become like that. That itself is the Vairagya. So Viveka will generate the Vairagya. And by that we will win over our our slavery to our desires and ragadvesha. Now, in the Kathopanishad, that shloka, do you have that book? Can you give me? Mil gaya. He says, Indriyebhyah parahi artha, arthebhyascha param manah, manasastu parabuddhi, buddher atma mahan paraha. That is in the previous say. We have already done it. I am not going to explain. I am saying that we are repeating with a little difference. Mahatah param abhyaktam, abhyaktat purushah paraha, purushanna param kinchit, sa kashtha, sa paragatihi. This Purusha is the ultimate. Purusha means the Atma, Purusha means the Brahman. I also said that there are two etymological forms of Purusha. One is Puri Shete iti Purushaha. That means one who resides in the body. Puri means the body. Ekadasha Dwaram. Puram Ekadasha Dwaram. Puri means the body, the palace. In which he resides, he is called Atma. That means Puri Shete iti Atma. Another etymological meaning of Atma, which is more important and correct, is that Purnam Anena Sarvamiti Purushaha. Purnam Anena Sarvamiti Purushaha. By which everything is filled. The consciousness, that is the Purusha. So Purushaha can be two. One who is residing in the body, he is called Purusha. Also who is all-pervading Atma, he is also called Purusha. So he says, Purushatna param kinchit. You cannot have anything beyond Purusha. Because there is nothing else to reveal Purusha. If there is something else to reveal the Purusha, then that would have been the Purusha. That would have been the Supreme. Here it is nothing. Purusha has to be self-resplendent, self-manifesting. Sa kashtha, sa paragati. Jaise when there is some sports or something, we put a plank at the end. Kashtha means a piece of wood. So that is the ultimate, that you have to run up to that. So he is saying sa kashtha, sa paragati. That is the limit up to which we have to go. It is not a limit, it is an unlimited limit. But it is the limit. So here they are saying in this chapter, go back to 7th verse. These two shlokas should be studied together. Indriyebhyah param mano,
Indriyebhyah param mano,
manasah sattvam
manasah sattvam uttamam,
sattvadadhi mahanatma,
sattvadadhi mahanatma,
mahato avyaktam uttamam,
mahato avyaktam uttamam,
avyaktattu parah purusho,
avyaktattu parah purusho,
vyapako linga evacha,
vyapako linga evacha,
tam jnatva muchyate jantuhu,
tam jnatva muchyate jantuh,
amritatvam jagacchati.
amritatvam jagacchati.
See, he is saying indriyebhyah param manah. That same as earlier, that mind is superior to the sense organs. So what they are saying, they are slowly trying to make your outward focus inward and further inward and further inward to the transcendental level. Then there is no inward outward. Transcendental level is you have transcended the inwardness and gone to a level where there is no in out, nothing. So initially, because our mind is always externally focused, we have to go take it from outward focus to inward focus. Then go slowly inward to the deepest level and transcend that when there is no inward outward. This is the process. So mind is superior to the Indriya. So naturally you focus on the mind. As we said, that mind, all this jugglery of the 5 senses and all, it is all made of mind. So your mind gets converged into from all this variety to unity, less variety. Manasa sattvam uttamam. Here they have used the word sattvam for buddhi. Sattva means actually the essential element, essence. So sattva is used for buddhi also, or why they have suddenly instead of buddhi they have used sattva? Because it is the buddhi, when you go deep into the foundation of the buddhi, where from the buddhi is rising, that is the where the understanding and revelation is taking place. The reflection of the chit, of the consciousness takes place there, which we call chidabhasa. So sattva means this is the essence of our being. There the I-ness is coming. That I amness, that feeling of individuality is coming from there. So that is the essence of our identity. So using the word sattva adds to the meaning there. So he says that the sattva, the buddhi, is higher than the mind. Sattvadadhi mahanatma. Mahanatma means mahat tattva. Now, here again you say that from the indriyas you have gone to the mind, gone to the buddhi, to that they have called sattva because you have reached the atmic revelation on the buddhi, that is the chidabhasa. Now he is saying that, but still your individuality is there. You are thinking that Atma is small, encapsulated by your body-mind personality. Is it not so? Now he wants to take you to the universality from there, from that constriction to the universality. So Mahat Tattva is the cosmic buddhi. It is the cosmic intelligence. It is a model, the combination, all the buddhi, the intelligence as a whole, the cosmic intelligence is called Mahat. This is also a model. So from your intelligence is only part of this Mahat Tattva. So when you have reached the sattva in us, from there you expand yourself to the universal cosmic intelligence. So छोटेपन चला गया वहाँ से, individuality से universality. Mahatah avyaktam uttamam. Even higher than the Mahat Tattva, the cosmic intelligence is avyaktam. Now this is the new entry here compared to the Bhagavad Gita, where after buddhi they reach straight to the Purusha. Yo buddhehe paratastu saha. Here he has used the Mahat Tattva and the Avyakta concept additionally. Avyakta is whatever is called Maya, Prakriti, it is the same. Avyakta means unmanifest. From here, where the manifestation is coming and from where it is again going down. As in Karana Sharira, that means when we are in Sushupti, then there is no signal. We have forgotten about ourselves also. Is it not so? The whole universe has set, including our own body-mind personality. It is not there in Sushupti. From there again we are getting up with our body-mind personality and all the infinite variegated universe. So from that is the Avyakta. Sushupti is the Avyakta. From there again the manifest universe is coming. This Avyakta is called Maya. This Avyakta is also unmanifest Prakriti. It is the same, different names only. But beyond that, but there also the duality remains. Vyakta and Avyakta consists of the duality there. That is, whatever is manifest and unmanifest, this duality is there. It is within the fold of our mind and buddhi that we are understanding this. But Purusha is the transcendental, non-dual position. So, Avyakta tu parah Purushaha. The Purusha you will go when you leave Vyakta, Avyakta, everything and transcend that duality. Non-dual position you have to attain, where there is no subject-object division at all. Then you attain the Purusha. So it is no longer that you are knowing something. It has to be self-revelatory. How they are saying that? What is that Purusha? Vyapakaha alinga evacha. This is very important. Vyapakaha alinga evacha. Vyapakaha means which is all pervading, not only in spatially, time-wise also. Vyapaka means in time and space, you cannot miss it anywhere, because time and space actually is within this. But to take our mind to the universal level, he is saying Vyapakaha. It is pervading the entire space and entire range of time everywhere. Not only that, it is Alingaha. Linga means insignia, means some qualifying parameter or quality. To identify anybody, suppose he is wearing white dress, it is an identification mark. He is wearing a violet dress. These are all identification. He is Sanjay, he is also Sanjay perhaps. So the name is not able to distinguish, but he is Sanjay Chakravarti and he is Sanjay Singh, Kumar. So anything identifying anybody is the linga for that. Linga means identification mark. So alingaha means it cannot be identified by any quality at all. So this Purusha, you don't try to identify with this. Even calling Satchidananda is not all right. It is only an indication. That becomes an identifying mark. Satchidananda is the Purusha. We sing also Satchidananda, Satchidananda. But it is only all hinting towards that. Truly speaking, Sat means which is never becoming Asat. That is, it is always existing. You cannot miss it. Chit means which is consciousness, but which means it is not unconsciousness. No missing of the consciousness. Unconscious is also consciousness within the fold of consciousness. You cannot miss the revelatory power. Ananda means it is never anananda. It is never shoka. That is, in suffering also this ananda is that it is always there. To emphasize that non-varying quality, we are saying Satchidananda. But it is not really a qualifying mark for the Purusha. Purusha is Vyapakaha, Alingaha. It cannot be. That is why the Shastras mention about it, Neti Neti Vachanair. Jan Neti Neti Vachanaihi Nigama Vochuhu. The Shastras speak about it by Neti Neti, means Na iti na iti. Any concept you give, no. The concepts are all coming in our mind. When you transcend all concepts, transcend the mind, then whatever remains, it is that. So, this is how they are taking us again to the Purusha. See, the steps are the same. You should be able to relate the verses. Earlier we have found that how it is taking from the gross to the subtler, then finally transcendental. The transcendental Purusha, it is manifesting as grossest of the gross and subtlest of the subtle also. You cannot call it subtle. As long as the procedure is there, we are calling it subtle procedure. But when you reach, even the gross is the manifestation, is a concept of the mind. Gross objects, they are concepts of the mind. Even the subtlest objects or consciousness is a concept of the mind. The consciousness we generally, whatever we are speaking, it is all concepts of the mind. We have to go beyond all concepts. So always it is gross to the subtle to the transcendental level finally. Subtle, subtler, then transcendental. That is the method. In whichever way they take us, they are taking various paths because it helps us to understand from various ways. Tam nyatva muchyate jantuhu amritatvam jagacchati. That means we are all now jantuhu. So they have used not sadhaka or manushya or anything. They are referring to us as, earlier they were referring to as matyaha. That is, we are maranashila, we are mortal. To remember that, then only you will try for amritatva. Now he is saying jantuhu. As long as you are not applying this faculty, you are not different from any jantuhu, animal. In Bengali, often we used to say that somebody, a friend, suppose you are abusing him as a gadha hai, he is a donkey. In Bengali we will say, अरे ऐसा मत बोलो, गाधा बोले कि मानुष ना है. अरे तुम उसको गधा बोल रहे हो, एक गधा मनुष्य नहीं है क्या जो उसको क्यों. So it is insult for the donkey. Like that. So tam jnatva muchyate jantuhu. Although we are jantuhu, we are having abhimana in our body, mind, personality, but we can cut across all this bandhana, all this bondage and become liberated. Amritatvam hi gacchati. We can become immortal. We can attain the immortality, reach the stage where there is no causality. We go beyond, we transcend causality, birth, death, changefulness, everything. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
मा विद्विषावहै
मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
हरि ओम तत्सत्